welcome back to Larissa's Kitchen. Tonight we're making hamburgers, but not just any old hamburgers, we're making pimento cheeseburgers. These burgers will be stuffed with a full slab of red onion and topped with pimento cheese. So first we need to make that pimento cheese spread. Okay, you're going to need 2 ounces of cream cheese, about 8 ounces of sharp cheddar cheese, we will be grating this, a 1/4 cup of mayonnaise, about a teaspoon of kosher salt, and 4 ounces of pimentos. Now we're going to process the cream cheese, the mayonnaise, and the salt together until it's smooth, and then just pulse in the cheddar cheese and the pimentos because we don't want this to be a perfectly smooth spread. So let's get started. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put this in a container, and then this is going in the refrigerator for at least a couple of hours. Alright, the next step in these pimento cheeseburgers is to cut up this red onion. Now, we're going to be using slabs of it, and as you can see, this is a very large red onion, so we're only going to be using the insides of the circles. Okay, so we want these to be about a 1/4 inch thick. Alright, now we will need to take off these outer layers because that's just paper. Okay, and then we're probably only going to use about this much, actually maybe even one less. Now we're not going to waste this onion, I'm going to mince this up, and then this can be used in something else. So about this size is what we need for each hamburger. Okay, now we're going to partially cook these onions first because if we put them in there raw, they'll be raw when they come out. So what we need to do is just spray a little bit of cooking spray on these and then cover them with just a little bit of salt and pepper. Alright, so we are just going to go ahead and cook these for just a few minutes, just on the one side. Okay, probably only about 2 minutes, and that's all we're going to cook these for. Okay, these will continue to soften up once they're out of here. Okay, now we need to go put these burgers together. Okay, this is about a pound of ground chuck. Now this is 90-10 lean ground chuck. You don't want to go anything leaner than that or these burgers will get a little too tough. In fact, if you'd like to use the 80-20, that'll actually make them a little more tender. Now normally I grind my own ribeye, but I thought I'd make this a little more realistic. Okay, we need to divide this into 4 even parts. That's how many burgers I'm making. And then each of these will have to get divided again, because we're making these burgers in 2 patties. Okay, now we're going to shape them. Alright, this is just a cutting board that I've covered with saran wrap, and that way these will be easier to work with. Okay, so we want to make this patty very, very flat, since we'll be putting 2 on here and a slab of onion in between. So we'll go ahead and make this as flat as possible. Okay, we'll take one of our onion pieces. Okay, and then the other half of this patty. Flatten it out. and then make sure these are pinched together. Okay, let's make the rest. Okay, let me go get my hands washed, and then I'm going to salt and pepper these. Now I've tried this both ways, with and without the seasoning on the burgers, and it definitely does need the seasoning. Okay, we can either take these over to the grill to start cooking right now, or I'm actually going to be cooking them on my stove, or they can sit in your refrigerator and coast until you're ready to cook them. Okay, a very important part of burgers that quite a few people forget about are the buns. Now we're using bulky rolls for our sandwiches because they're a little bit sturdier than just your traditional hamburger bun. But more importantly, I'm going to toast them. That way, when all the juices from the hamburger get on here, it doesn't just turn my bun into mush. Okay, this is my pan that I cooked the onions in, and I didn't bother to clean it, it's fine. I've got it on medium to medium-high heat. And we're going to let this heat up just a little bit, and then we're going to put our burgers in. Now for these burgers, because they're really quite thin, and with just the onion in between, we're only going to cook them about 4 minutes on each side. Otherwise they're going to get a little bit too done. Now if you like your hamburgers well done, you can cook them for a little bit longer, but I do not recommend it. Alright, I've also got my pimento cheese spread out because we want to have this nearby. When we turn the burgers over, we're going to go ahead and put the cheese on so that it has time to melt and we don't have to worry about overcooking the bottom. Alright, once you put them down, leave them down. No checking before the 4 minutes. Alright, now in order for this to melt properly, we're going to go ahead and cover it for the last 4 minutes. Alright, it is vitally important that we allow these hamburgers to rest for about 5 minutes in the bun to allow the juices to redistribute and for that cheese to melt any last bit that it needs to melt. Now, you can top this with whatever you like. I personally think it tastes best just like this. Okay, let's give this burger a taste. Now, I know this is going to be juicy and messy, and I probably won't be able to say anything. Mmm.